Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the speech of Martin Ljungberg. I would like to say some words about him as well. He's a trading specialist, and he works at Infront since 2021 and has more than 20 years of experience in the financial service industry across the EME region. And I wish you a lot of fun with his talk about unlock your private investors, order flow with modern brokerage solutions.
Thank you very much. Thank you, DKF, for giving us the opportunity of being here and presenting. Look very much forward to this, and it's great to meet some people in real life again. So again, my name is Martin Ljungberg. I worked at Infront here, and I will start the presentation by saying a couple of words about the company I represent, Infront, and then we'll move over to today's actual presentation. So in the past, I've worked with different trading participants from the buy side to the sell side, with the exchange operators, with market data vendors, with trading participants ranging from proprietary trading to retail trading and so forth. So I've seen a fair amount of trading activities out there. So moving on here, short about Infront. Who is Infront? Across Europe, financial professionals rely on Infront's solutions for financial markets. So we offer a powerful combination of market data, news, analytics, data feeds, regulatory compliance solutions, calculations, and so forth. So we have a pretty wide offering. We have some 3,600 customers. We were established in 1998. We have today roughly 500 employees located in some 11 countries. We have a yearly revenue a bit over 120 million euro per year. In terms of screen users, we have some 90,000 professional users out there in the field. And here in the German-speaking region, we believe that a lot of you guys are more familiar with VVD, who Infront joined forces with in 2019, so that name may be slightly more familiar in the region here. So who chooses Infront and our solutions? Well, we have a wide variety of end users. Our end users, they are brokers, they are traders, they are treasury people, bankers, investment relations managers, compliance, risk, investors. Well, when I say investors, private as well as professional investors, portfolio managers, wealth managers, and so on. So we're all over the place. So let's move on with today's presentation. It's a fairly long title, Unlock Your Private Investors Order Flow with Modern Brokerage Solutions. I will talk about two topics today. The strong trend to improve digital offerings for investor clients, so private clients as well as retail clients, so to say. There have been several reports in the past by Oliver Wyman, Financial Times, and so forth, and they all emphasize the need for you guys out there, so wealth managers, brokers, custodians, and so on. You need to invest in your digital offering. Trading systems is part of a digital offering. And in order to meet the customer's expectations of today, there's still a lot to be done according to these surveys and reports coming out. And we at Infront, we agree very much with this. So what is the driver behind this strong trend? Well, it's obvious that investors today, they want to be in the driver's seat. They want to take control over their investments. Just like you and I are used to mobile banking and so on these days, the younger generations, they want to be in the driver's seat. So what is needed in order to enable this? And we at Infront, we believe you need to have intuitive, great technology that makes the end user comfortable in the driver's seat. and communicates your brand, your message to the clients, right? And what is key in order to facilitate this? We believe there's a couple of different building blocks in order to accomplish this. So for brokers, custodians, wealth managers, and so on, we believe that there are a couple of different aspects that you need to look at when you improve your digital offering. And we will take a look at these aspects and talk a little bit about these now moving forward here. The classic question for many banks, brokers, wealth managers, and so on is whether should we build it in-house or should we let someone else assist it with us? It's not as easy as either or. We all know this. It's not buy or build, it's buy and build, right? You should do what you're good at. Developing a system, maintaining it, operating it, adding new features for each user group and so on, staying on top of technical developments, regulatory requirements and so on. Is this something that you should do? Is this your core competence? Or could you imagine also working with a partner who helps you on some of these things? Today, I mean, the market has changed a lot since, if you roll back the clock 20 years. At that stage, technology vendors, they had like a technology advantage to some extent. But today, wealth managers, brokers, and so on, they have a lot of good offerings, a lot of good vendors out there. Today, it's everything in the cloud, or you can go deployed if you want that on-premise rather, for some reason. But there's a lot of offering out there in order to meet your customers' requirements here. So buy and build, it's not an easy decision, but for sure we see today a lot of advantages buying some of your components to facilitate this, and to reduce your cost, and to reduce your operational risk, if we put it like that. That's the first consideration. What else do we think is important when you enhance your trading capabilities for your clients? We think it's important that you focus on the user experience, because you have probably different categories of end users. When you offer trading to your end clients, some are more tech savvy than others, some are older, some are younger, some are more advanced, some just want to go in and invest occasionally, once a year or so, while others trade on a daily basis. So to serve these categories, you need to have the right content for them, and you need to provide them with the corresponding functionality that that specific user segment needs. Not more, not less. So we would argue you need to focus on the user experience. And what is the key in order to do that? We think that you need to have customizable front ends. That's number one. And number two is you need also easy to use user administration. So you can add users, you can remove users on the fly and administrate them and give them the content that that specific user would need. So an adequate trading solution for professional or private investors these days, we can help you and really boost the sales by providing the right front end to the right end user category. What else is important when you improve your trading offering? We believe that integration is hugely important, right? If you have an old in-house system, it's very likely that it is hard to integrate it with new system components, right? It's always a challenge. But if you stay and stick to systems that are more industry standard when it comes to the APIs and the integration capabilities, you're in a good spot. What do you need to integrate with when you look at trading solutions? You need to integrate with brokers. You need to integrate with market data vendors. And you need to have reporting tools so you report your market data usage and those kind of things. What else do you need? You need the integration between the trading system and your other internal systems, whether it is your CRM system or your back office system or what it is. Those could be hugely important. Back office system, obviously, if you want to upload your clients' positions and make them visible and they trade based on that, obvious need to integrate there. What more do you need? Proprietary content, right? How do you make sure that the end users get the proprietary content that you would like to show to them? And also security, authentication, and those kind of things. So hugely important part is the integration aspects when looking at trading systems for your investors. We spoke about content. It really is the king, right? But it has to be the right content. That's number one. So news, analytics, market data, ESG data, and so on, research needs to be there for the right user categories. But what is also very important to consider is the how. How do you provide the content? You must consider how to distribute it, the market data, the news, the analytics, and you must control the distribution of this in a cost-efficient manner and stay on top of your compliance towards exchanges and regulators and so forth. So content is king, but also how you provide it is very important for the total cost of ownership of a system. Moving on with the fifth aspect that we would like to draw your attention to here when looking at enhancing your digitalization with better trading offering. What about system availability? What about stability? What about security? You know, these days, if your system goes down on the wrong day, when BMW has a report or whatever, it's not going to look great in the newspapers, right? You want to avoid those kind of situations. And if you are comfortable with operating the systems, making your own data centers and leased lines or networks and certifications and business continuity and encryption, all those risks of operating a system, then sure you can do it. But for most of the brokers and wealth managers and the players out there in the field, that is not really the core business of these organizations. So when setting these things up, having great system availability and security and those kind of things, you need domain experts in these areas. And maybe you have these already, but maybe it also makes sense to speak with external partners on these topics. It could be everything from whether you should go with the leased lines or what kind of network you should have. It could be about providing the right, so to say, hardware in the right data center and so on, having hot failover between different data center locations and those kind of things. Those things are not done easily if you want to do it well. And therefore, I would argue that sometimes it's much better to go with external partners to make sure that you have great system stability and security and availability. Right? For tier 1 banks, larger banks, they probably have these competences in-house. For smaller banks, regional banks, wealth managers and so on, is that the core competence they should be doing? Not really sure. The last aspect I would like to draw your attention to is that having a great trading offering in your digitalization is also an opportunity for you to showcase your brand. You can make your offering look like it was invented by you. You can put your name on it and make sure that you communicate your brand to the private or professional users that you choose to give your solution to. So you can match your company's brand, look and feel with the solutions that you can tailor-made for your investors. Roll back the clock 10, 15 years ago, that was not possible. You had to build everything from scratch. But today, you have those solutions from the vendors that you can pick pretty much off the shelf and make them look like they were invented by you. It's a great opportunity to communicate your brand. So, for banks, custodian, wealth managers, all you guys out there in the field who want to improve your digitalization with a better trading offering, what does this all mean to you? We believe that if you want to stay in the race and be relevant and not lose your clients to very tech-savvy online brokers or whatever it may be, then you may need to step on the gas, so to say, and invest in your digital offering on the trading side. You don't need to be like the world champion of this, but you need to have some sort of basic level and a hygiene factor which stops your clients from moving away from you. Because all of a sudden they move their trading to another bank, and all of a sudden that bank, they offer also, you know, housing loan or insurance, those kind of things that you actually make money on. So trading may not be your core focus, but you need to provide some sort of basic level in order not to lose clients these days. And today, it's still about trust between you and your clients. Trust. But today you can build trust by providing them with modern, easy-to-use technology. It's easily accessible on all their devices, whether they're sitting at home or whether they are on the golf course with their mobile phone and can trade from there. So regardless if you want to build this yourself or if you want to go via partners, choose good partners to discuss these topics with. And I think that's the bottom line for today. So thank you very much, and look forward to meeting you at our booth. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Are there any questions? Yes, please.
I'm glad that you touched on the information security aspect. That's my field pretty much, and data has been all my life. So you talk about using technology and all the areas where you can benefit. What about the new regulations that are coming in, like CCPA, now Schrems 2 is one of the major ones where it's become a question mark, can we even transfer data anymore across borders? So, and I'm in a discussion today which might match Schrems in the evening as well, but he says, I'm Greta Thunberg, there's a climate change big issue, and all governments need to come into alignment to agree how data can be transferred and agree. How do you guys?
We always look very closely at the ESMA regulation and papers and try to work with our clients who very often have big teams of lawyers and domain specialists looking into this and really looking at the regulation coming out, and not only the regulation that is already in place, but also the one that is coming in the coming months and so on. So we keep a very close eye on that and try to make sure that we are well informed. That's super important these days. Compliance, if you roll back the clock, 20 years or 10 years even, compliance was not really that much of a factor. But these days, like you say, it really plays a huge role. And you need to take a look at it because it could turn everything upside down for you if you're not on top of that topic. It really does. So we rely on input from our clients and their, legal team looking really at the integrated details of new regulation, whether it comes to investor protection or information security and those kind of things. So it's really hard for smaller firms to be spot on and into the details of every aspect of it, but you need to work with your clients and work with the industry on these topics, absolutely. I hope I answered at least some part of your question.
More of an open question.
Yeah, yep. Very good question, thank you. Any more questions? Please.
Work? Now it works. So what's your recommendation? Buy standard stuff and then build it out? And do you have examples of customers that have done that, look cool, have a cool mobile app, cool web portal for customers, so that people can check it out on their phone? Like,
we see
what are
both.
nice examples?
Yeah, we see both. We see a larger bank being successful and having the resources to invest thoroughly into providing their clients with great digitalization, trading tools, and so on. But for smaller market participants who don't have the big IT staff and the IT budget and so on, there it becomes more and more interesting to go with partners and to, in that way, kind of smarten up a little bit and get on top of all the aspects. I mean, building trading systems from scratch internally, banks used to do that maybe 20 years ago, especially on the proprietary trading side. They build their very purpose-built trading aspects for doing maybe some arbitrage or so. That's inside the banks and so on. But if you want to build trading systems for a wider range of usage, then you need to consider many more aspects apart from just sending orders and withdrawing orders. You need to consider all the legal aspects, the compliance, making sure you earmark the orders when they go to the exchange to fulfill compliance. You need to make sure that your data center is synchronized on the servers on the millisecond in order to comply with timestamps in the regulation. So if you have the power to do this and the IT resources to do this, knock yourself out, do it. If you don't, talk with good partners out there in the field, whether it's market data or trading or so on. I think that's the bottom line. Yeah. Thank you.